Well, hello friends, welcome to another edition of A Sportsman's Life. Glad to have you joining us here today. We are at the Buck and Bass Ranch. We're just walking around. We're going to take a little hike, just enjoy the nature. I have my wife's 30-30. I borrowed from her. She's sleeping, so don't tell her. So we're just going to take a walk. We're going to go see what we can see. Maybe we'll get up on an animal. Maybe we'll see some flowering trees in the woods. Whatever. It's just a beautiful place, and I want you to come along, take a walk with me. Let's just go take a look what East Texas woods have to offer here, out here near Lake Fork. So let's just take us a walk. Won't you join me? Well, friends, that happened pretty quick. Little did I know, just walking along, and we've come across a couple of hogs already, so I kind of did the sneak on them and tried to get some video for you. Didn't have a shot opportunity, but again, just getting out in the woods like this and walking around, you never know what you're going to see. It's just fun. So we're just enjoying it. We're really not. I mean, I got the gun. Could you say we're hunting? Yeah, I guess we're hunting, but really, I'm just more out to take a beautiful stroll into the woods. The sun has just come up. My wife is still sleeping, and so I just figured, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna take a walk even before my cup of coffee. So, wow, that was quick. Almost got on those dudes, but that's okay. I see some things up here I want to show you folks. So let's continue our journey. Well, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. When you're walking through the woods, there's a lot of people that don't know what poison ivy looks like, and poison ivy, you certainly do not want to get into it. But they say leaves of 3, 1, 2, 3 points, and then there's 3 leaves. So it's 3 leaves with 3 points. Leaves of 3, let it be, and it'll grow up trees in a vine-like fashion. That is something you definitely want to stay away from. So just want to give you an idea of what poison ivy looks like. Don't mess with it. Friends, I want to show you what this vine, see this vine that looks like follicles of heavy hair or something? That, my friends, is poison ivy. So if you see that growing up a tree, you definitely don't want to be playing with that vine. So we just showed you the leaves of 3. Be careful with that stuff. This stuff you do not want to get into. A lot of people will confuse this vine that grows up trees, which is like a Virginia creeper, with poison ivy. But as you can see, they have a lot of jagged edges, and they're at leaves of 5. So that is not poison ivy or poison oak. So just so you know, that's a creeping vine. That's a Virginia creeper. So, all right, there's your poison ivy lesson of the day. I just find it very interesting how we've got these wooded vines that basically go right up a tree. Isn't that something? Friends, I want you to take a look at this. This is what you call a well-used hog trail. I mean, it's very pronounced. It shoots right through those woods there. Let's zoom in just a tad. You can kind of see. Yep, that's a well-used one. Find a place to sit off that on the downwind side. That's where you shoot a hog. Well, friends, I want to show you what I use for night hunting. This is the Wraith by Sightmark. It's a digital, it's not thermal, but you can use it for daytime hunting. It has a color mode. It's color during the day, and at nighttime for shooting hogs and predators out to, I've killed them out to 125 yards, but I sight in for that distance. You could shoot them a lot farther. Go online to learn more about the Wraith. You can go to sightmark.com and check them out. Absolutely awesome hunting tool for day or night. Well, folks, it is Luke Clayton, and I want to show you something right here that I am very, very proud of. My gearhead bow. I've taken a couple of hogs with it, and I'm deer hunting. I'm down at the Buck and Bass Ranch at a buddy of mine's, and I'm going to be deer hunting. Let me show you something here. Now, this is the coolest thing in the world, and I am the first time I have ever shot a bow where you with a shoot-through riser. I'm going to look right at you here. There's a riser here. There's a riser here. Look at the arrow on this gearhead bow, right in the middle. And if you think that doesn't make a difference, you know, for many, many years, me and I guess every other bow hunter been shooting one side of the riser or the other. This thing shoots straight through. Folks, check them out online. This is the bow that I hunt with, and I've got a lot, I love it, lots of confidence in it. GearheadArchery.com. Well, as you can see, folks, we also have honeysuckle wild growing out here, and a couple of the roads are just filled with it. We call them honeysuckle road. You drive down that road and it just smells absolutely beautiful. Love it. Well, that's one big old tree. That's another thing we do with out here on our property is trees that fall across the road. Thank goodness for a Kubota tractor, because it saves me a lot of work. Well, friends, another native plant out here in the East Texas area where we're at is right dead center of the screen. You'll see what looks like a palm leaf. That's a palmetto. There's a lot of palmettos here, down here. So you'll find some thick patches or thick groves of these palmettos, and I do know hogs, maybe even deer, will bed down because there's a lot of protection. So you'll see a lot of palmettos out here. Just beautiful. Some people don't like them, but I think they're kind of cool. Again, there's so much beauty in the forest. I mean, just look at this old rotted out stump. Been there for a long, long time. Kind of cool. Just take in the beauty of that with all the moss growing on these old vines. It's just beautiful stuff. Friends, all I can say is get out here and enjoy this beauty. You know, just take a walk in the woods, bring your kids, get your family. Can't think of a better place to go hang out. I mean, look at this. This is just love this stuff. Just go find cool things, you know. Doesn't get much cooler than this right here. All right, we'll venture on. Looks like a natural bowl. Animals can drink right out of that. Isn't that crazy? I say, get out in the woods, folks. This is fun stuff. Making a day of it. Take a look at this cowboy. That's kind of cool. Check that vine out. In a dead tree, but it goes all the way on up and gets into that big tree there. I just, that's fascinating. Very, very cool. All right. kicked a deer out just a little bit ago. There was a deer off in a distance. Didn't get my camera on it, but you know what? We're just strolling through the woods. This is fun stuff, folks. It really, really is. It just takes your mind off things. It's peaceful. Today is an absolutely gorgeous day. It's probably, I don't know, in the mid-60s, low 60s. No humidity, and just gorgeous. All right, we're gonna mosey along. Another old stump. Kind of neat. Walking through the woods, finding all these kind of things. Beauty. Definitely beauty. Got a couple of buzzards up the tree. Speaking of trees, why do all these big beautiful trees always have poison ivy around them? Isn't that crazy? That is an oak tree, folks. Amazing thing about it is the size. Now that's not your typical oak tree. This is called a water oak. Got a few of them on the property out here, so they get very, very large. Very large. And only grow kind of in the south, starting about here, more toward Louisiana, is where you'll find the water oak. Beautiful trees. I find that interesting too. The fungus growth on this tree makes for an interesting pattern and something cool to photograph. Well, folks, welcome back to the show. It's fun, just kind of bring you some sights and sounds of the woods. Behind me you'll see a big tree. Now that is another water oak. They are quite magnanimous trees. They're beautiful. They get very big. That one right there, I want to guess that thing's probably 150 plus years old, easily. It's fantastic to look at. It's just such a beautiful day. Out here by myself, just enjoying the wilderness, being out here, the sights and the sounds of the woods. It does something for the soul. For me, I just get out here and my blood pressure goes down. I just have fun being out here. I know we got a few projects to do later today. I got a feeder to fix and some other stuff, but you know, sometimes this comes first. Take care of yourself, get out here, have some fun. Sometimes just breaking away and doing something like this for a few hours in the morning, kind of get your mind straight and just kind of take it all in. We'll get our projects done, but we're also going to enjoy our time. So a couple other things I want to show you. There's a tree up here I want to show you that can cause a lot of headaches for a lot of people. So let's go take a look at it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You may or may not be familiar with this tree. This is the trunk of the tree. I will tell you, this wood is extremely hard. If you're trying to cut it with a chainsaw, it's like cutting through rock. The infamous locust tree. I will tell you, if you get one of these in your tire, your hand, all of the above, it's not pretty. I've actually had one of these locust thorns right here go through my tractor tire on my Kubota tractor. Those are like needles. They're sharp, they're strong, and I mean, look, I just stuck that tree right there. Absolutely amazing trees. I don't like them because they're a mess and they're hard to deal with when you want to try to cut them up. And they are absolutely loaded. Let's go up the tree here and show you with thorns. That's stuff you don't want to get into. Okay, the locust tree.
Hi folks, it's your old buddy Luke Clayton, and this ain't your grandpa's pump-up air gun. This is the Texan made by Air Force Air Guns, and it's the most powerful production air gun in the world. A few years ago I started shooting these, probably, well, when they first came out I actually had a chance to test. They didn't really need any testing, but to shoot one of the 10 prototypes when it first came out. Now this is the improved model. This tank pressures up to 3,625 psi. This gun will develop, I believe it's 750 foot-pounds of energy shooting a 520 grain bullet. So this is your big daddy of air guns. If you want to get into hunting or shooting air guns, you know, you don't have to shoot a 520 grain bullet. I shoot a Nielsen specialty ammo bullet that's, I think it's 340 grains. But here you go. Check these out online. You can go to airforceairguns.com and check them out. But this is the one I've hunted with a lot. I've probably killed 30 hogs and a bunch of exotics, and I'm going to get after the deer here in Texas this year with it. airforceairguns.com.
And folks, this is a persimmon tree. Fuyu persimmon. So what we do is we plant trees like this periodically throughout the property. As you can see, perhaps there is a ladder stand on beyond this tree here. But once this thing matures and drops persimmons, guess what you'll find right here? Lots of deer. So anyway, they're starting to bloom too. Just beautiful out here. Look at that. Of course, this is something you always want to avoid when walking around out in the woods. We just came across a little open area here and one big fire ant mound. Yeah, not good. So watch where you walk. And boy, if this old tree could tell stories, wow. Look at that. Not sure if this video will do that justice, but it's amazing the colors you'll see out in the woods. This is just an old dead stick up, but the color coming off that is like almost chartreuse. It's interesting. Some kind of a fungus, but I just thought you'd like to see that. I think it's pretty neat. I always find this tree very interesting because you've got really 4 main trunks coming out of one. Looks like one tree down here, but then you go up and you see it's 4 separate trees come right out of there. Kind of a neat looking deal. Fun to look at. Look at that tree too. I always find that one interesting. That's a cedar tree back there, but it's got kind of a weird look to it. Let's just take a peek at that real quick. Look at that. That's unique. Folks, you won't see this stuff unless you get out in the woods and walk. Just look for things like this. Go spend the day. It's very rewarding. Well, let's mosey on just a little bit further, and then it's going to be time for old Jeffrey to go get a cup of coffee. Well, don't have to look too far to find wild berries growing out on the land. They're just budding now, but we'll have berries soon. There are thorns on there, so you got to be careful. It's also interesting just to kind of walk through the pine forest here. So we've got all hybrid loblolly pines in here, and of course the forest floor is covered in pine needles, and it's fun just to stroll through there. It's amazing the acidity in the pine needles keep anything from growing on the forest floor. You might find some Virginia creeper pop up here or there. You don't even find a whole lot of poison ivy. It's pretty interesting that the acidity level in those needles are very, very high. So you don't see a whole lot growing here, but just fun to walk through the woods like this. And on occasion you come across some flowering plant, which we don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. Well, folks, just want to leave you with this. Kind of an interesting old fence post. Just out along the property, all rotted out, been there for a lot of years. Matter of fact, the barbed wire is not even on the post at all anymore. Interesting. I'm just going to continue to walk on through the woods and do some more filming and capture some of God's beauty out here. We'll be back in a moment.
Folks, as an old outdoors writer, I have used lots of products. Smoking Tex electric smokers. The best smokers that you can find. This is Diz and this is Scott, my buddies. Diz, tell them how they can learn more about Smoking Tex.
Yeah, obviously the #1 source of information is going to be our website. It's got hundreds of recipes, it's got helpful guides, it's got all of our models and our accessories listed there. Of course, we have a phone number, 888-922-1511, and we'll actually answer our own phones.
That's true. And Diz, the main thing, the easy way, smokingtex.com. You can learn all about it.
Correct. And of course, we're on all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc. So take a look at us whenever you can, and whatever social media you'd like, and we look forward to working with you.
Well, folks, welcome back. We have got the canoe out. We're ready to go here, so we're just going to kind of work our way up the creek here and see what we can come up with. So just a fun day on the water, just a beautiful spring morning. Everything is blooming out here. And I know there's fish biting because the last few weeks we've been out here, we've done very well catching some crappie and sand bass. So anyway, we're just going to venture up the creek, and why don't you join me and let's go up and see what we can see. It should be pretty. Just this time of year, just looking at this creek up here is beautiful. So let's wander up. Come on, let's go. Well, we'll have to navigate through that little tight spot, but we'll get there. Well, folks, we have made it down the creek. We've actually made it to my double box blind at the creek here. So we're making our way toward the bridge. We're going to try to do a little crappie fishing up there. But you know, really, this day is all about just getting this canoe and getting out on the water. So beautiful. Did you see those deer? There was a bunch of deer running in there. I tried to get some video of them, but they were all bedded up probably 40 yards off the creek here. So just fun times to be out here. We're heading back up the creek here, and we'll get around the corner here. We got about maybe another 150 yards to go, and we'll get to the bridge, the old bridge, and we'll fish that a little bit. I had to stop and get a shot of this spot. Just a pretty area right here. The creek does a serious bend right up here and then heads toward the old bridge. So such beauty out here on the creek. You guys need to get out here and find a creek near you and just get out and explore it. Lots of fun. Well, folks, we're having a big time out here. We're just enjoying the day. Had a hit right there. Son of a gun. Missed him. Well, folks, we're just making our way along here. We fished the bridge, a little wash up there for a bit, and we're just making it a day out here on the creek and just enjoying a canoe ride out here on the water. An absolutely stunningly gorgeous day. Beautiful temps, no mosquitoes. It's the time to get out here. The only thing we got, folks, is a hang up, so I guess we'll see if we can't get us unhung here. We're just going to mosey along. Get you a kayak, get you a canoe, find you a creek. Get out here and do this kind of stuff. nothing else, I would encourage you to bring your camera. Folks, I enjoyed our little ride together. Just a beautiful day in the creek. As I said, get out and do this kind of stuff. You just can't beat it. Getting out on the water like this and spending some time, get the kids out here, whatever, and just enjoy nature. Beautiful place to be. We'll leave you with that, and until next week, folks, we look forward to seeing you right back here on Sportsman's Life. Thank you for joining us on our show each week, and until next week, be safe in the outdoors.